All right, welcome back to my filthy garage as the beginning of March in Buffalo takes hold and there's about a foot of snow on the ground. So I figure now is the perfect time to go ahead and continue on with some of the modifications I was going to do. So this is the 2018 Triumph Bobber Black that I had done a little bit of work on. Most of it just easy cosmetic stuff, new badging, the Motone brass stuff, the tank pads, the quilted seat from Triumph. I changed out, I got rid of the Triumph stickers and added my own stickers. Went ahead and got the new Rage Cycle license plate bracket. I chopped my own fender down, put in the new Rage fender eliminator kit lights, so those are my rear turn signals. A new swing arm tool bag, some more of the badgings, and these are turn signals from New Rage. They just kind of ring around the forks and they're actually really nice. They work fine, absolutely fine. And these are the bars that I got on it. And essentially, this project that I'm going to be working on is I'm going to be changing out these bars, which are fairly excellent. It kind of drops around 8 inches from my shoulder to get down here, but it's still a pretty comfortable grip. It's actually, you know, just a really nice looking bar, but I'm going to go for something a little higher. I'm going to take these off. I also have the Motone up and over risers on it, which I'm going to try keeping them on, but if I need to move back to stock in order to make the other bars work, I'll do that. What I am going to do though is I have a selection of an 8-inch Z bar. I have I want to say a set of 12-inch Harley bagger bars that I want to try. They come out just about as wide as this, but give you much more, like maybe a 35-inch width grip on it. And then I also got a pair of stripper bars from Todd's Custom Cycles that I'm going to test out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these off and, you know, attach the other bars just to see how they're all fitting. When doing this, I am going to have to make sure that I pay attention to some of the different sizes that I have. I know that the riser bolts right here, those are 6mm, whereas underneath the bolts for that are 14mm. On all of these we have, on this hardware, these are, I want to say, 5mm, and on the back of these is a couple fixins, and that's a T20 over here on the bar end mirrors, and that's even rusting out anyway. So one of the other things I'm going to do is be replacing the mirrors. I'm going to be replacing the brown barrel grips with the Triumph heated grips when I get the new bars on. New mirrors as well. And then there are these clips over here, and those are also 5mm, and you got to be able to take these off here in order to get to the bolt for the risers, which is just behind it. So that's all going to have to come off. There was also, in order to get to this section over here, what I ended up doing was pulling this clip down, and this one was just 4mm. There is going to be a time fairly soon after I decide which bars I'm going to use in order to route the cables and everything like that. I'm going to have to take off the gas tank. That's a 12mm right there. And there is this harness over here for the cables, and that is also, I want to say, going to be a T20. So we'll get to that when we get to it. But the first thing I'm going to have to do is going to be cover up the tank, get the old bars off, so then I can go test out the new ones. So when you come back, we'll see what the first set of bars looks like. Alright, for those who don't remember these are the stock bars that came with the Triumph Bobber Black. Just some things to point out is the placement of the holes. Now, most of the bars that you're going to get in aftermarket do not have the tap for putting in the bar end mirrors or for threading the wires through. So any bar that we deal with, we are going to have to be cutting some notches in here far enough away, because the new bar end mirrors are going to have a bolt that goes in about that deep. But we are going to have to find a way to route the wires so that we can get the heated grips through. Then here's the place for the controls to go through, and you know, the original bars are knurled. Some of the other bars that I'm going to show you are also knurled and some aren't. Okay, these are the EMGO Black 1-inch Z-bars from DennisKirk.com. Just to give you some information on them. It is 28 inches from tip to tip, 10-inch rise. It has 7 inches in the middle and 3.5 inches from knurl to knurl center. The reason I have these wrapped up is so that I don't scratch them, so that when I do a setup of them, I don't do any damage, and if I don't like it, then I can go ahead and send them back. These particular bars also have a 4 3/4 inch pullback. They were part number 07-93430 Bravo, and they cost $72.86. Now, one thing to keep in mind for any of these bars that we're dealing with, there are going to be some modifications. This one would, while it's dimpled for external wiring, in order to get the internal stuff going, I would have to make some cuts and modifications. They are hollow 1-inch bars so that you can put the bar in mirrors, but I would have to do quite a bit of holes and setting up in order to make the controls work. And then I'll go ahead and show you what these look like when they're on the bike. Something I should probably point out is that I am 5 foot 10 inches, so that's my size compared to these bars. Okay, so with these EMGO bars, with the 10-inch rise, I think these are actually going to be, like, while these are actually really comfortable, I think they're going to be a little smaller than I want. I'm straight, it's just, you know, not as right here where I want it. Plus the grip is a little too narrow. So I think I'm going to have a lot better options with the Paul Yaffe or the strip bars from Todd Cycles. Good cut. Okay, so the next set of bars that we're going to take a look at are the 12-inch Paul Yaffe 1-inch Black Classic Bagger Apes. These are also found on DennisKirk.com, part number 5153051 Bravo Kilo, and in 2022 these came to $164.95 US with shipping. And these, and you'll see this when we get this set up on the bike, these are nice and tall and wide and very, very comfortable. Unfortunately, I think ultimately they're going to end up being a little too wide from here to here. That's a good 13 inches. With the 3.5 inches between the knurling. It would be great to be able to take maybe an inch and an inch off of these, but still have it set up so that I could run internal wiring. There are cutouts here. There's holes and notches here. These are notched for throttle by wire, but you know, that's not going to make a difference once you get the bar end mirrors on there. You will see that these have a really nice sweep backwards to them. So after you get it all set up and you are, you know, even if you don't have like the up and over risers, this will give you a very comfortable seating position. Another thing that I really like about these ones is you have the full bar up here. Like, there is a lot of room. One of the problems with finding new bars for a Triumph bobber is that the Triumph controls are roughly 9 to 9.5 inches once you get that reservoir up there. that you have to deal with. Most aftermarket bars are set up for Harleys, which only have a 7.5-inch control section for 1-inch tubing, and then the rest would start off at like 1.25, 1.5, and those were the bars, I'll be honest, I really wish I could have gotten. Those would have been absolutely perfect. But unless I have somebody who's going to custom make me bars, which just is not in my budget, then this is what I'm going to have to deal with, is making do with what's out there on the market. So these technically have, a full 12-inch from here to here. This is 10 inches from the start of the bend back to the tip, and there is a 5 3/4 pullback after you get it all set up on the bar. Again, these are really comfortable, and you'll see once I get these set up on the bike, they really actually look pretty good. Currently, these were the winning bars on my Facebook poll that I did. Between the 3 bars that we did, everybody liked these ones best. One thing that I have is, just with how wide it is, maybe I can find somebody who can, take a piece here, take a piece there, and then weld it all back together. But I need to be able to try to get the internal wiring, preferably. As you can see from these pictures, the bars go about 2 inches wider than the forks, which is unfortunate. But either way, they do look nice and they're very comfortable. Okay, so these are the Paul Yaffe bars. They're a bit wider than I was hoping for, but I still really kind of like how it's got this back sweep and then it goes up. This is a nice, comfortable position for me. I think that these are a lot better than the EMGO bars or EMGO bars from earlier, but these are quite a contender. So I can't wait to see what the Paul Customs look like. Good. All right, finally we have the Todd's Custom Cycles 1-inch strip bars in matte black. Now these ones, I have to say, like, these are probably the best of both worlds between the 2 bars. You will note that there is some difference, whereas the Paul Yaffe bars had 35 inches from tip to tip, which was really nice. These ones only have 29.5, but it's a comfortable 29.5. It's got a 4-inch pullback. There is no knurling here. It is 6.5 inches center, 6.5 inches in your centerpiece here, with a true 12-inch rise up here. But you'll find that in the end, there really is only 10 inches from here to here, so that's just something to consider. But these, these in the Paul Yaffe were comfortable as hell. You have 10.25 inches, so just a little bit longer than the Paul Yaffe bars for your controls, and these ones can be found on Todd Cycles. I will put the link for all of these bars in the description below. These ones came in at $329.95 in 2022 US dollars. One thing that I do like about it, though, is that out of all of the controls, these ones seem to be set up the most for what I'm gonna do, like needing the least amount of modifications. It has really nice control cutouts here and on the other side. So doing the wiring, I'm just going to have to cut notches in here and on this side. And then on this side, I have to just put in the screws for the heated grips to keep those in. And then everything else can be either internally wired out, or I can feel really confident with putting these ones, doing the ties like I have on the bars that I have currently installed. So we'll take a look at how these look when they're installed. All right, so these are the Todd Cycle Customs 1-inch strip bars. Now these are real nice. They're a bit closer together than the other ones, but those ones were for a Harley bagger. These ones are for more of the soft tail style. It's still really nice as far as the comfort goes. My arms just kind of fall here. and the styling's a lot better. It would be nice if they were a bit wider, although I think that these are going to end up being the ultimate winners. So, having decided on the Todd's Custom Cycles bars, I'm just kind of showing you some of the other things I got. So these are Kuryakin Phantom mirrors. I have to decide whether or not I'm going to have them up, which looks nice, or depending on how I can set it up, maybe even doing it as an under the grip. I'm not the biggest fan of under the grip, but seeing as, I'm going for a whole brand new setup, I might think about, going for a little bit of a change. The Triumph heated grips, they do come in this nice, magnetic closed box. Setup is going to be hopefully, pretty straightforward. The only installation videos I've ever seen for this is for like the Street Twins and stuff like that. So I hopefully will be able to show everybody with a bobber how to set these up. And because I am not a big fan of the black grips, what I did was I ordered a set of Trip Machine leather wraps. And these, after the grips are on, they're held together with a pretty powerful 3M adhesive, and I've heard very good things about these being usable with heated grips. And this is the tobacco colored ones. I also have them in tan and in black, and we'll see how that finishes up those bars to make those look real nice. Now, one last thing I am going to have to do, because of where I work, they made us start getting these sticker passes for our vehicles in order to park. I need to be able to put something on my bike so that I can put this pass. So what I did was I got the Dart Piranha in black, and I've never had a fly screen before. Hopefully it doesn't take too much away from the look that I was going for. But, I'm pretty confident. I've looked at other bobbers with it. It's not a deal breaker for me. And hopefully it might even just make the highway portion of my morning commute just a little bit better. So, stay tuned for the next week. I'll be starting to put the bars on. The only thing I'm waiting for is I had to buy new bushings from Triumph, because I didn't have the bushings that came with the high bar kit. I'm not buying the high bar kit just to get bushings, so I will have the information for those bushings on the next video. For people who want to get their own bars, they can just order the parts themselves. And once I get the new bushings to put on for the risers, then I can attach the bar and get everything else set. The last consideration that I'm going to have to make is that whereas I've previously installed the cables for the throttle and the brakes for a higher bar kit, I did not at that time install the extended wiring or the wire harness extenders that came with the kit, because at the time I didn't need it and I was worried about space underneath the gas tank. So when I do put all this together, I do believe because of the extra height, I am ultimately going to have to install that as well. So as part of this, I'll walk you through how to put on the extensions and kind of recount how I put the longer cables on. So I hope you all kind of follow me through this project. If you like what you're seeing, then go ahead and do that whole subscribe and like thing. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I just got sick and tired of not having anything online about how to put on certain accessories for my bike, so I figure I can't be the only one. So hopefully this helps some of you out there in this world, and I'll see you soon.